2 months ago, on March 19th, Bishop Robert Barron put out a video about how we should approach this COVID-19 pandemic. And he started out by quoting the great philosopher of the 17th century, Blaise Pascal. He said that all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Think about this. He's saying all of humanity's problems, all of my problems, all of your problems stem from our inability to sit quietly in a room alone. How this would look like, for example, take tomorrow. What if you decided for the entire day to sit quietly in a room alone by yourself? That includes no iPhone, no TV, no internet, no books, no distractions at all. And just reflect upon the big questions of life. Bishop Barron calls this a Pascalian moment, to reflect on the big questions of life, to consider, why am I here? Who am I? What is my purpose in life? I don't know about you, but there's something deep down inside that just wants to rebel against this idea of spending an entire day reflecting upon these questions with no distractions at all. There's a certain fear or like a resistance deep down inside. It's almost as though like we're just too busy to do such a thing. This word busyness, being busy. Last night, I had a friend call me and ask how I was doing. I immediately said, busy. And then I caught myself and started laughing. It's comedic at times, this idea of busyness. It's like, call someone, hey, how's it going? Busy? Oh, I wish I were just busy. I'm so busy, I'm too busy to tell you how busy I am. Oh, really? Well, let me tell you how busy I am. And on and on and on. We live in this culture of busyness. And the culture provides us with so many ways to distract ourselves, to divert our attention away from wrestling with these big questions of life. And so that is why Blaise Pascal said that all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. So I was sitting in my room at Corpus Christi, trying to figure out how I could provide a solution for this big problem. And I happened to be staring at the wall, and there was actually a painting on the wall. And I realized that this painting that I was staring at provided the answer to my problem. The painting is called The Annunciation. It's by Henry Ossawa Tanner. It's a very unique depiction of the Annunciation scene. Mary sits very humbly, quietly in a room by herself, and the angel Gabriel is before her, depicted as a beam of light. I realized in this moment of staring at this painting, okay, just as all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone, all of humanity's solutions stem from Mary's ability to sit quietly in a room alone. For her courageous choice to sit quietly in a room alone and ponder the big questions of life. Think about it. Mary sat quietly in a room alone, And she had to wrestle with these big questions of life. The angel Gabriel came to her, and Mary started asking, okay, who am I now? I'm full of grace? And how can a virgin become a mother? And what is my role now in salvation history? So Mary wrestled with these questions. And what happened? She was led to a profound encounter with the love of God, deep intimacy with God. That is what happens when we wrestle with these big questions of life. We are led to an opportunity to have an encounter with God. So the angel Gabriel said to Mary, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you. The power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child to be born will be holy. He will be called Son of God." Although Mary didn't fully understand what these words meant, she said yes. And from that moment on, she became a permanent dwelling place of the Trinity. The Holy Spirit, the power of the Most High, the Son of God. Mary became a dwelling place of God, brought into deep, deep intimacy and friendship and relationship with the Trinity. Putting this in the context of today's gospel, Jesus speaks multiple times about coming to us with the Father and the Holy Spirit, about living in us, being with us, abiding with us. Listen to these words again. Jesus is speaking about himself and the Father. He says, "On that day, you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you." And speaking about the Holy Spirit, Jesus says, "I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to be with you forever. You know him, because he abides with you, and he will be in you." Although this might seem pretty difficult to wrap our heads around, difficult to understand, what we know for certain is that Mary experienced all of this in the most intimate and personal way. She said yes to God's invitation to a real relationship with him. And she lived in this deep union with God her whole life. And this is good news because Mary is our mother. She is our mother. She looks upon us right now as her sons and daughters. She knows us by name, and she will intercede for us to give us the courage that we need to wrestle with these big questions, to sit quietly in a room alone by ourselves and to look at these questions. Who am I? What is my purpose in life? And then to say yes to God's invitation to a real relationship with him. Because that is where it leads. That is where wrestling with these big questions lead. It leads to an encounter with the infinite, personal, warm, and eternal love of God, to a real relationship with him. And that real relationship is the purpose of our lives. I had a close friend who was diagnosed with cancer. Soon after this diagnosis, she tells me how she was sitting quietly in a room alone by herself, wrestling with the big questions of her life, coming face to face with her own mortality and diagnosis. All of a sudden, she realized that Mary, her mother, was with her, present in a way she had never experienced before. She never knew was possible. She said it was so real and so personal. She told me that in that moment, she recalled the words that Our Lady of Guadalupe said to Juan Diego and knew that Mary was speaking those exact words to her in that moment. Since we are all Mary's children, I invite you right now to hear these words from Our Lady of Guadalupe, speaking these words to you right now. This is what Mary says to us. Listen. Put it into your heart, my youngest and dearest child, that the thing that frightens you, the thing that afflicts you, is nothing. Do not let it disturb you. Am I not here, I who am your mother? Think about it. The most powerful intercessor, the queen of heaven and earth, is your mother. Your mother. This is personal. This is real. She knows you by name. She loves you deeply. She knows all of your needs, and she is active in your life, helping you. She wants to help you. She wants to be engaged and involved in your life. And she is with you at all times. Tonight, from 7 to 7:30 p.m. on this Corpus Christi Facebook page, we will live stream a mini Marian pilgrimage here at Corpus Christi Parish, in which we'll lead you through a guided reflection on the Rosary, and then we will pray a consecration prayer to Mary as our mother. This is not a bad way to spend 30 minutes on a Sunday night. My brothers and sisters, united under Mary, our mother. In the end, Blaise Pascal, he had it all wrong. We have a mother, Mary. She is with us at all times. We are never alone.